Welcome back to our channel on this beautiful day where the drama in Los Angeles is absolutely overflowing, and we simply cannot wait to dive into every single juicy detail with all of you right now. Taylor Hayes is standing in a room that suddenly feels entirely devoid of oxygen because she has to look into the dark and calculating eyes of Sheila Sharp and deliver the absolute worst news imaginable. She has to tell this woman that the one thing she desperately wants is the one thing she is never going to get. The visitation plan is dead in the water. The idea of getting Steffi Forrester Finnegan to agree to let Sheila anywhere near John Finn Finnegan and Little Hayes is not just a long shot, but a complete and total impossibility. Steffi would completely flip out. She would lose her mind and rain down hellfire on anyone who even dared to suggest such a psychotic arrangement. Taylor knows this deep in her bones. She knows the trauma that Steffi carries every single day from the alleyway shooting and the endless years of terror that Sheila has inflicted upon the Forrester family. You can almost see the sweat forming on Taylor's brow as she stands there trying to find the words to explain this to a woman who does not understand the concept of boundaries. Deacon Sharp is standing right next to Taylor just in case. He is hovering there like a nervous bodyguard because he knows exactly what his wife is capable of when she feels backed into a corner. Deacon being there is supposed to be comforting, but honestly, what is he actually going to do if Sheila snaps? He is just a man who owns a restaurant and got in way over his head with a woman who has a documented history of violence. Taylor looks at Sheila and finally forces the words out of her mouth. She declares that the request is impossible. She tells Sheila that Steffi will never agree to it and that she cannot even bring the topic up without risking her entire relationship with her daughter. Sheila does not scream. She does not throw things. The reformed villain just stands there absorbing the information with a terrifying calmness that should send shivers down Taylor's spine. Does anyone actually believe that Sheila's just going to nod and walk away? Does anyone think she will just sign those divorce papers out of the goodness of her heart and let Deacon and Taylor ride off into the sunset together? Absolutely not. Sheila is going to come up with another tactic. She is going to force Taylor to make it happen. She will find a pressure point and she will press down on it until Taylor breaks. Blackmail is Sheila's native language, and manipulation is the very air she breathes. Taylor has handed Sheila a loaded weapon by sleeping with Deacon, and now she is going to have to pay the price. Sheila might threaten to go to Steffi herself and expose the affair in the most destructive way possible if Taylor does not deliver the children. She might threaten to ruin Deacon's life. She might do something even worse because her mind works in ways that normal people cannot even begin to comprehend. Taylor thought she could manage this situation, but she is entirely out of her depth. She is playing a dangerous game of chess with a grandmaster of psychological torture. Deacon is just standing there watching his dream of a happy future with Taylor slowly circle the drain because he knows that Sheila will never let them go easily. The tension in that room is thick enough to cut with a knife. You have to wonder what is going through Taylor's head right now. Does she regret crossing that line with Deacon? Does she wish she had just walked away when she had the chance? It is too late for regrets now. We have to shift gears because the corporate war between Forrester Creations and House of Logan is reaching a boiling point that threatens to burn the entire fashion industry to the ground. Bill Spencer is practically vibrating with smug satisfaction. The man is walking around Los Angeles like he owns the sun and the moon because the Hope Logan Spencer shenanigan has completely derailed his rivals. Bill likely hears the news that Forrester Creations has delayed dropping the couture collection. The mighty Eric Forrester's return to the runway is being pushed back because the company is in absolute chaos following Hope's defection. Bill is absolutely loving this. He thrives on the misery of Ridge Forrester. He wants to rub it in Ridge's face so badly that he can probably taste it. He wants to gloat about Hope, and he especially wants to gloat about the HFTF diamond. That massive blue rock is the crown jewel of his publicity stunt, and it is driving the Forresters insane. Bill and Ridge are going to face off, and it is going to be explosive. You know exactly how this goes. Bill will smirk and make some arrogant comment about how Forrester is a sinking ship. Ridge will clench his jaw and puff out his chest and yell about loyalty and theft. They have been doing this dance for decades, but the stakes feel so much higher this time because the survival of the companies is actually on the line. Bill better be careful, though. He is getting way too cocky. He thinks he has already won the war just because he won the first battle. Ridge and Steffi Forrester Finnegan are not just going to sit back and let Dollar Bill destroy their family legacy. They are going to come up with a plan. They are cornered animals right now, and cornered animals are the most dangerous kind. Steffi is already sharpening her knives and declaring war against the Logans. She is furious and vengeful, and she has the legal firepower of Carter Walton at her disposal. They are going to look for every single loophole in Hope's contract. They are going to attack Logan Designs from every possible angle. Bill might have the diamond and he might have Hope, but Steffi and Ridge have the entire history and infrastructure of Forrester Creations behind them. The fallout from this corporate war is bleeding into the personal lives of everyone around them. Just look at the absolute disaster unfolding at the beach house. Will Spencer is standing there trying desperately to reason with Elektra Forrester. The ocean breeze is probably blowing outside, but inside it is completely suffocating. Will is pleading his case. He is trying to explain why he kept Shauna Fulton's jewelry line a secret. He was just doing his job. He was protecting his family's business interests. Elektra does not care. The young woman has already decided that Will cannot be forgiven. She is full of rage. She is acting so dictatorial and demanding that she is practically a carbon copy of Steffi right now. She expects total and utter obedience from Will, even though they work for competing companies. It is completely unreasonable. Will is in an impossible position. He is trying to balance his loyalty to his father and his love for his girlfriend, and he is failing miserably at both. Elektra decides that she has had enough. She is done talking. She decides to leave. She is probably grabbing her bag and storming toward the door with tears in her eyes and fire in her heart. Will panics. He loves her, and he does not want to lose her again. He tries to stop her. He steps in front of the door to block her path. Now we need to be completely fair here. Will is not manhandling Elektra. He is not being physical or aggressive in a dangerous way. He is simply stepping in front of her to talk to her. He wants 5 more minutes to explain himself. He is desperate and heartbroken. At the same time, when a lady wants to leave, you have to let her leave. You cannot block a door. It is a terrible look, and it only makes Elektra even more furious. She feels trapped. She feels like he is trying to control her. The situation is escalating rapidly. Suddenly the door flies open and RJ Forrester shows up. He bursts into the beach house like some kind of soap opera knight in shining armor, ready to rescue the damsel in distress. RJ takes one look at the scene and decides that he is the hero of this story. He tells Will to let Elektra go. The tension between these two cousins is already toxic, but this moment pushes it right over the edge. RJ is playing the savior. He is stepping in to protect Elektra from the big bad Spencer. Will is staring at RJ with pure hatred. RJ is staring right back. The toxic masculinity is practically suffocating. RJ has been waiting for an opportunity like this. He has been swooping in to comfort Elektra every single time she has a fight with Will. He is opportunistic and manipulative in his own quiet way. He knows exactly what he is doing. He is using Elektra's vulnerability to wedge himself right into her heart. Elektra is caught in the middle of this ridiculous macho standoff. She is furious with Will, but is she really ready to just fall into RJ's arms? She is traumatized by past betrayals, and she is lashing out at the people who care about her. She walks out. She leaves Will standing there in the beach house with his heart shattered into a million pieces. RJ probably follows her out to make sure she is okay. He gets to play the good guy. He gets to be the shoulder she cries on. Will is left alone with his regrets and his anger. He is going to blame RJ for this. He is going to blame the Forrester family for tearing his life apart. The feud between Will and RJ is going to reach nuclear levels after this confrontation. What does all of this mean for Melissa Dillon? We have to stop and think about the collateral damage here. Dillon is sitting somewhere completely unaware that her budding romance with RJ is going up in flames. She has been getting closer to RJ. They have been sharing passionate moments. She has been opening her heart to him. Now, RJ is running off to play hero for Elektra. Dillon is going to be devastated. She is going to realize that she was just a placeholder for RJ while he waited for Elektra to become available again. It is incredibly unfair. Dillon has done nothing but try to be a good friend and a loyal employee. She is caught in this messy love quadrangle, and she is the one who is going to end up getting hurt the most. Will Dillon just sit back and take it? Will she confront RJ about his feelings for Elektra? She is a strong woman, but she is also vulnerable. She might realize that RJ is never going to fully commit to her as long as Elektra is in the picture. This could push Dillon right back into Will's orbit. Think about it. Will is heartbroken and lonely. Dillon is heartbroken and lonely. They already share a complicated history and a lingering attraction. They shared that kiss at the beach house that caused so much trouble in the first place. If Elektra is moving on with RJ, then what is stopping Will and Dillon from finding comfort in each other? It would be the ultimate revenge against Elektra and RJ. It would be messy and complicated and absolutely perfect for daytime television. The psychological layers of this entire situation are fascinating. Every single character is acting out of fear and desperation. Taylor is terrified of Sheila. Sheila is terrified of losing Deacon. Bill is desperate for validation and victory. Ridge is desperate to protect his legacy. Will is terrified of losing Elektra. RJ is desperate to prove himself as a leading man. Elektra is terrified of being betrayed again. Dillon is desperate for real love. They are all colliding with each other in these massive emotional explosions, and nobody is walking away unscathed. The next 3 weeks are going to be a masterclass in human dysfunction. We cannot stop thinking about Taylor's face when Sheila tells her that she has to make the visitation happen. How exactly is Taylor supposed to pull that off? Is she going to drug Steffi? Is she going to kidnap the children? There is literally no logical path forward. Taylor is a psychiatrist. She knows how the human mind works. She knows that Sheila is a psychopath who lacks empathy and impulse control. Yet Taylor still thought she could negotiate with her. It is a stunning display of arrogance and naivety on Taylor's part. She let her feelings for Deacon blind her to the reality of the situation. Now she is paying the price. Deacon is just as guilty. He dragged Taylor into this mess because he was too weak to just end his marriage to Sheila properly. He wanted to have his cake and eat it too. He wanted the thrill of the affair and the comfort of his new life. Now the bill is coming due. The face-off between Bill and Ridge is going to have massive ripple effects across both companies. If Ridge and Steffi launch a counterattack, they might end up doing something illegal or unethical. They are desperate. Desperate people do desperate things. Brooke is already issuing divorce ultimatums and smashing company signs. Ridge is under an immense amount of pressure from his wife and his daughter. He is caught between the two most powerful women in his life, and he is failing to keep either of them happy. Bill knows this. Bill can smell the weakness in the Forrester family. He is going to exploit every single crack in their foundation. The delayed couture collection is just the beginning. Bill wants to completely dismantle Forrester Creations and build House of Logan on its ashes. The tragedy of Will and Elektra is that they actually love each other. They really do. But They are too young and too stubborn to communicate properly. Electra is holding Will to an impossible standard. She expects him to betray his own family to prove his loyalty to her. That is toxic. Will is trying to be a good company man, but he is sacrificing his personal life in the process. RJ is just a vulture circling the wreckage. He does not really love Electra. He just loves the idea of winning her away from Will. It is an ego trip for him. Dylan is the only innocent person in this entire scenario, and she is the one who is going to suffer the most. The writers are setting up a massive emotional climax for all of these characters, and we are literally counting down the seconds until it all explodes on our screens. And honestly, who can blame Electra for wanting to leave that beach house? The atmosphere must have been incredibly oppressive, but the way RJ handled it was just so arrogant. He had no right to burst in there and start giving orders. He is not her father. He is not her husband. He is just a guy who wants to sleep with her. Will had every right to be angry. The dynamic between those two young men is a powder keg. Someone is going to throw a punch eventually. It is inevitable. The Forrester and Spencer bloodlines have been warring for generations, and Will and RJ are just the latest soldiers on the battlefield. We will be watching every single episode closely to see how Taylor manages to squirm her way out of Sheila's trap. We will be watching to see what kind of counterattack Ridge and Steffi launch against Dollar Bill. We will be watching to see if Dylan finally stands up for herself and demands the respect she deserves. The drama is relentless. The stakes are higher than ever. The bold and the beautiful are about to get very ugly, and we are absolutely here for it.